I'm
Hello.
sorry. I just love that.
Jamming,
It's
jamming,
okay. I love
jamming.
that song too. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Elevated Her, where we have conversations about grown women topics. Where we come in here as midlife women, either just about to go into midlife, in midlife, been in midlife for a while, have been hanging out here in this midlife world for a while. We come to have conversations about that, to talk out loud about those things that we just think about. My name is Kāron Fairweather. I'm the founder of Boldly Becoming Her, where that's the exact conversations we have. But I also have a framework where I encourage women to use their lived experiences to better themselves. Oftentimes, when we get in midlife, we forget about all the skills we have. We forget about all the experience we have. We forget about all the wisdom that we have, thinking that it can't be transferred to build the life that we've always wanted, that we put on hold for everybody else. So, at Boldly Becoming Her, that's what we do. We take what you already have and show you how to transform that into what you want. So, along with myself, I have two beautiful women here. I have Miss Clavia Allen and Miss Marcy of Marcy Trueheart. So, ladies, introduce yourselves, if you will, please.
All right. So I am Clavia Allen of Chosen 31 Essentials, where as you become her, as you elevate who she is, and that her is you and me, we are able to help you share your story by way of book publication, where you're building legacies, where your story will live on the shelves of many bookstores and churches and homes and all the things. And we also allow you to voice that story, right? So, mind, body, and soul, where healing comes through our voice. Our voice, I would say, is our
Mm-hmm.
superpower. And
Yeah.
then, Marcy, that dancing through the stories of our lives. So over to you, Marcy. And if you want to learn more, visit me at Clavia Allen. But Marcy's now going to tell you more about those moments.
So I am Marcy Trueheart from Marcy Moments. What I do, I teach you how to speak luxury words about yourself. Because what we put out in the atmosphere, that's what the universe knows about us. So speaking luxury words to yourself, it's an art to it. Okay. And I am a podcaster, an author, and a affirmation installer. And if you want to get in contact with me, you can contact me at marcymoments2 at gmail, and we can get this luxury words mindset started.
Absolutely, absolutely,
Love
absolutely. All
it,
right, y'all,
love
let's
it.
get into it.
Okay, email
Right?
drop.
You're old. Yeah, absolutely for the E. But listen, that's right. Drop 'em, girl. Drop those gems on how to reach you. Okay, so y'all, the topic of conversation right now is your old identity can't build your new life. Period. It can't. It really can't. Think about just right where you are right now. If you were thinking the way you thought 10 years ago, would you be able to sustain? Okay, my screen blanked out for a second. I just want to make sure I'm still here. All right, would you be able to sustain the life that you have? Just think back 10 years ago. Think back 10 years ago. Would you be able to sustain the life that you have right now with the thoughts and behaviors you had 10 years ago? I don't think you could. I know I couldn't. The thoughts and behaviors I had 10 years ago, I wouldn't be able to sustain the life I have right now. So, when it comes down to identity, we have to be very aware. A lot of times, us women, we'll talk about the different things that we want, and we're very serious about them, but how to bring them to life is where we get stuck because we haven't made a change in our thought processes. We haven't made a change in how we go about doing things. We haven't made a change in how we see ourselves, number one, and how we see ourselves. We don't see ourselves as experienced individuals who have wisdom, who have skill sets, who have knowledge to bring to something new to create the life that we want. So when it comes to, you think about it, even with different roles that we had throughout life, we've had maybe had the role of mom, may still have the role of that hands-on mom. We're always going to be moms, but hands-on mom, or a wife or a caretaker or the roles at work. Sometimes, and I know I had this issue myself, we take on our roles as our identities. And when those roles don't exist anymore, what happens to our identity? What happens to our identity when those roles don't exist anymore? And I had to come face to face with that year before last. My role, the role that I worked so hard to achieve, didn't exist anymore. And had you asked me before then, was my identity tied to my role? I told you absolutely not. But I would have been telling a bold-faced lie, because when it happened, my identity definitely was tied to that. And that's what we don't want to happen, right? Let's call a thing, y'all. The role that helped you build the life you had may be limiting the life you want. It may be limiting the life you want. Think about that for a moment. So when we have these different roles, we need to be able to cast them aside so we can build a new life with the new skills, not new skills, but transformed skills, knowledge, and understanding. So let me ask a reflection question here. What do you say you want that your current choices don't support? What do you say you want that your current choices don't support? Think about that question. And while you're thinking about that question, I'm going to move this on over to Miss Clivia. Miss Clivia, why do these old roles stay with us even after our lives have changed? Why do we keep playing those roles? Why do we keep doing the same thing those roles required?
Great question. I believe, let me just roll over. All roles are difficult to release, and I'm a witness to that. And I think we all can identify with that. It's hard to let go of what we're comfortable with, what we're so used to, because we feel like we're giving up something important. Whether it's, as you just mentioned, motherhood, we're no longer married. Neither of us are married. And sometimes it's the comfort of coming home to someone, it's the comfort of
Mm,
belonging, and those feelings are hard to release. So some people, we can talk about, I can talk about my ex husband wanting to be with someone all the time. And if it doesn't work out, I'm with somebody new, because why? I'm used to that comfort. I'm used to someone laying next to me. And it's hard for some people to release that and to enjoy themselves, to learn themselves. That is one of the reasons why it's really hard to release those old habits. The person that we trusted, ourselves, the person that, or I would say the woman, since we are focused on women in general, the quiet woman avoided conflict. The woman who handled everything was praised for being strong. Now life has changed. A woman may ask, will people still value me if I stop doing everything? If I don't pick up the phone,
mm,
would they still respect me? If I don't show up, would they support me? All those questions we sometimes ask ourselves. And I mean, it's for us women, but I know men experience the same thing, right? Whether it's the loss of a position in a job, where they were bringing home a certain amount of
yeah.
money. And I actually served with a guy the other day at a shelter, and he shared his testimony. And he basically said he was doing all the things. He joined the military, so he had all these trophies and awards, and then he ended up getting sick, and now he's wheelchair bound, right? He's still married to the same woman, but again, we know men being macho. We know them being, the breadwinners and going out and working. So even for them, it's hard to identify as that man that I was. So just as us, sometimes we have these roles as mothers, as wives, and then it's like, okay, so what do I do now? What does life look like for me now? Would people, again,
Mm,
would they respect me? How do I show up? So it becomes really, really hard. And then what did this role help me do? So again, thinking about myself, where, and I saw the question, your old identity cannot build your new life. And then I'm like, but I think it can, because
It's a
it goes a two-way, right? Because
it's
when
like
we,
you started at the foundation, then you got the bottom floor, your first floor, then your second floor. So you're gonna make a mini mansion, but it has to
yeah,
layer,
we have to build
layer
up to
down.
that. Yeah, because I think about, like you said in the beginning, Karen, like that, us 10 years ago, right? Where I think 10 years ago, I would have been married, I think. Yeah, I think I was still married, maybe on the brink of divorce. And again, giving up my own identity in that period and then losing myself, being silenced. So the woman I am today, because of who she was, now I'm boldly becoming her. I am elevating because I don't want to be that person anymore. So it's like, I think it helped build this character, this persona that I now have. Because if it wasn't for that past her, I wouldn't be this present her. So I think, like you said, we can build to that. What did um again, some other questions we may ask, what did that old self protect me from? What did it help me receive? So we ask ourselves so many different questions, and the goal is to decide whether the role still belongs in your current life or not. I was speaking
Mm-hmm.
to
Yeah.
an apostle today, and she said, you have to decide what God told you in the past. Is he saying the same thing now? And I had to sit, and she repeated, I'm like, She was like, what he may have answered that prayer in the past, is he still working that out for you now, or is he saying something new? So again, we have to ask ourselves those questions, like, is is who I was benefiting who I am today, or vice versa? So
Right.
again, there's so many questions
Mm-hmm.
and acts. Call a thing a thing. And I am not working the prompts, but we will follow along. Some people may struggle with your change because they were comfortable with what you always handled for them. And again, we talked about the art of saying no. We talked about rest and all those things. And some people may not identify with this new person that we are. Like, it's okay for us to say no. We don't always have to show up, because is that benefiting me? Is it allowing me to elevate?
Right.
Is it, is there growth
Mm-hmm.
happening if I show up to your event? That's, I'm just showing up, yes, to support, but what is it doing for me as an individual? So we can definitely ask ourselves those questions. And the reflection
Right.
question: what role have you kept playing because it helps you feel needed, respected, or accepted? Now, again, we're not married anymore,
Mm.
and I know we long for certain things as women, and perhaps we still wear our wedding ring. Why? Because we want people to feel like, oh, she has it still. Like, we kind of pretend, and again, I'm talking kind of in general,
Yeah.
like we pretend like we're still living that life, and we're really not. So what are you holding on to that you are
Mm-hmm.
afraid of, or that you feel you need? So, Marcy, what happens when woman makes a different choice and immediately feels guilty or uncomfortable? What does that look like?
Honey, when we make a new choice and it feels wrong, if loving me is wrong, I don't want to be right. Okay.
Yes.
So one of the hardest parts of changing an old role is the new behavior. It might not feel natural at first.
Mhm.
Like, you say no, that's a complete sentence. You ask for help.
It is.
You
Mm-hmm.
allow yourself to remove the superwoman cape and put it in the trash. I burned my superwoman cape. I was sick of her. You stop solving problems that belongs to someone else.
That part.
Baby, baby, leave those children, those grown children can make decisions for
On their own.
themselves. They
Yes.
got a little predicament. Hey, I'm out of it. Um, you decide not to explain yourself. And this is me. I understand how I stood firm in how you stand firm in your decisions and
Mm-hmm.
beliefs. Doubting yourself is no longer an option.
Yes.
Second guessing yourself because of the simple fact we all know that we have it in us. We've been taught. Our parents, some of our parents did a good job, some of our parents did not. But that's another story. But your parents put that in you, um, and now trust your own gut.
Yeah.
And here's some When you stop volunteering before everyone else has a chance to step up, sit down, sat down. It was so funny just yesterday. A new minister in the church, young guy. He's not even 20. Amazing young man. And he was like, Marcy, are you coming to vacation Bible school? I said, let me tell you something. The answer is no. I said, I've been at this church for almost 40 years.
Mhm.
There was a time when I was at this church 7 days a week, on weeks on end. I said,
Mhm.
at this point of my career at this church, you're lucky to see me on Sunday. I ain't coming on the week. And he said, and but mind you, he ain't been at the church not even 3 whole months. Um, but I had to learn to sit down. I
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I'm still in three ministries. I'm still in three ministries. I still serve two services um a Sunday. So I'm still doing a lot, but I am not at that church. I was Monday was meetings. This is before COVID, of course. You know, Wednesdays was Bible study, Thursdays was rehearsal,
All the
Friday,
things sound very
right, then
familiar.
Saturday that was whatever the meet, and then it's Sunday all day. Nah, you lucky, and I'm rolling out. It depends on the day. I'm getting out of there. So just stop. Learn
Yeah.
how to relax. You might want to change your answer. Your yes, be like, dang, well, I can't do all of it. And once again, a no is a no.
Mhm.
If you have spent years doing everything yourself and asking for help may feel uncomfortable, goes up to I don't want the Superwoman cape. It doesn't mean that you need to return. So you don't need to return to your old behavior because you may feel bad. Yeah, get over it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, do I treat? Oh no, I don't want to do that. I want to call a thing a thing. So feeling uncomfortable does not mean you've made the wrong choice. It may mean you've made a different one.
Mm.
So, a
Yeah.
reflection question, really quick. Are you changing your decisions because it was wrong or because someone is unhappy with it? And
Mm.
as grown women with adult children, we can just go with the children or the
Mm-hmm.
husbands, and we don't even have to go outside of our household or the people that were in our household. How many times have we, oof, how many times have we changed our decision because of them clowns?
Mhm.
Yep.
Stop it. Okay. I got a grounded moment for you. I have a moment now. I have a grounded moment. Before we move on, let's take a moment. Let your shoulders drop. As a matter of fact, I need you to breathe. Now let your shoulders drop as you breathe out. Place both your feet on the floor if you're able. And now let's take one breath, slow breath for a count of fives. Let's breathe in for five. Five, four, three, two, one. Let it out without rushing. Let it make a now think about one choice you are trying to make. Now think about one choice you are trying to make differently. You don't need to solve it right now. Just notice when it comes up. What do you think about?
Mm-hmm.
Is it guilt, fear, relief, the need to explain, the urge to change your mind? Now ask yourself, is the feeling telling me that the decision is wrong, or is the decision simply unfamiliar? Let's take one
Mm-hmm.
more slow breath for five. Five, four, three, two, one. Do you not have the answer? You do not have the answer, everything. You do not have the answer for everything at this moment.
Mhm.
You only need to notice what is true before the old habit answers you.
Mhm.
Kron, how can a woman clearly identify the role that they no longer fit in her life?
Great, great question. So think of it as in the word role, ROLE. R for role, O for origin, L for limit, and E for evidence. What role have I been playing?
Mhm.
Let's identify that first. And if you're not able to answer it, it's okay. You can leave it blank, but at least give it some thought.
Mhm.
When did I begin playing this role and why? When did I become the self appointed family president? Excuse me. Who asked you to do that? Who told you to do that? Then the next question is, how is this role limiting me now? Well, I can answer that right away. It's causing me stress. So the last question, what decision would show that I am choosing differently? I'm choosing not to be the family president. That means don't call me. Don't call me. Or you can call, I just choose not to answer. You can text, I just choose not to read it. So I'm choosing differently because I took myself out of that role, which I should have been in the first place. So using the role check framework, R, what is the role? O, where did it come from? L, how is it limiting me? And E, what's the evidence to show that I'm making some different choices? Because one thing we have the freedom to choose, y'all. We have the freedom to choose. So when we use our birth given rights, we can improve our lives all by ourselves. Really,
Mhm.
all by ourselves. We cannot change what we refuse to name. If you won't take the time to at least try to identify it, the work you're doing for the O, the L, and the E almost won't be as effective because you haven't identified the R. So the R, the O, the L, the E. The first step is to identify the role. Were you the fixer, the dependable one, the one that was me? That was me, available for everybody's call. Put off stuff, the important stuff that I need to do to take care of their stuff. Go to the store and do what they need to be done before I do what I need to be done. Sometimes not even doing what I need to be done because I ran out of time, right? So the friend who always is available, the mother who placed everyone else first, and I know us mothers can see ourselves in that place at one time or another. We may not have consistently done that. And even because I did that so much when I was a young mother, I encourage, there's one young lady that's in my life that I encourage her every 3 months to take some time off for just her. Leave the children with their daddy and go off and do something just for you by yourself.
Just
Even if
leave
it's
me.
just staying at home, just leave.
Just leave.
Just leave them. Even if it's staying at home, doing nothing, just not having those kids underfoot so she can have a mental and emotional and physical break to do something for her. And she has consistently done that. And she says, thank you so much for helping me identify how important that is for me so I don't get lost in the motherhood because she has an older, I think it's like 8 years between her sons. And that last one, he's two all by himself. He's two boys all by himself because he is
Mm,
all over the place. But
right.
that's a boy. Being a boy mom, we know what that's all of us are boy moms. So we know what that's all about. However, not getting lost in that title, boy mom, and remembering that I am me before I was a mom.
Mhm.
I am me before I was this. I am me before I was a that. So coming back to yourself, coming back to who you are so that you can continue to develop you. I encourage her, when you have that downtime, spend at least an hour thinking about what you can do to improve you. Just an hour. I say whether you take 1 day or 3 days, just an hour a day of what you can do to improve you. What that does is take your mind out of that mindset, out of that role. Everything children, everything mama, everything daddy, everything husband, everything, everything, everything. Well, what about the person who's doing all the doing?
Mm-hmm.
Yours, who are you without all of those roles, right? And that when we keep and don't think about who we are without those roles, when those roles disappear, empty nest syndrome, we're lost because we have been so
Mm-hmm.
absorbed in doing those things. Or I've been a supervisor for 15 years at this job. Now the job has dissolved or the company has been
Mm-hmm.
sold and that role is not available to you. What do you do then? Because your waking and your sleep was all supervisor. You are available for your staff 24/7. They can call you at home. They can whine. They can cry. You were just totally available to them. But what about you? Who are you without that role? Who are you without being a wife? Not that
Mm-hmm.
we don't want you to be wives now, because we've all been wives, and I'll say I can't speak for Miss Marcy and Miss Clavia, but I know I do desire to be a wife again, but not in the way I was before.
Like,
Me
And
too.
yeah, right.
Somebody's
You
son need to hurt. They need to come on now.
somebody's gonna need to love me.
right.
Somebody's
So you
son need
guys
to bring
mentioned
it
about
on.
you mentioned about how you can build on the old, and I'm gonna have to differ with you guys on that. We have the old, and we become a new. Say now, is my foundation built from what was? Yes, but my foundation is all built on what is. So and maybe it's just a perspective. Maybe we're saying the same thing, just saying it differently. I do believe that I need to
Mm-hmm.
shed what I used to do because I'm more mature now. I'm more wiser now. So whereas I had a very immature way of handling a situation, I have to shed that now because with wisdom, with experience, I have learned that okay, nah, girl, you don't need to cuss everybody out. Maybe just one to get your point across. Two. So my whole thing is that when it comes down to what we want, taking time for yourself first to identify what role am I playing that's taking over my identity. And then once I have identified that, how do I change that? Take some time to myself. Step outside. I dare you. I dare you. I dare you. Take some time to step outside of that role and just be you. And if without that role you don't know who you are very uncomfortable because you don't have those things to do. That's worth exploring. That really is worth
Mm-hmm.
exploring. So let me get to my call a thing a thing. The change becomes real when you start making different decisions. And the only time you can make different decisions, y'all, is when you get yourself and your mindset out of what's going on and take some time for you so you can assess yourself. So you can assess yourself. I'm going to throw this ball back to Miss Clivia, asking her what happens when a woman, particularly, changes, but the people around her still expect her old behavior.
Great question. When other people expect the OU. And I love this segment because just the other day I was talking about myself doing all the doing, showing up, answering, doing, and then I'm on the back burner. And the person made me realize, do you know that that's called people pleasing? And I'm like, okay. Didn't think about it that way, but it is,
It
right?
is.
Because if I don't do it, then they won't be satisfied. And I want to
Mm-hmm.
help them be satisfied. Like, again, you think about
Miss
the people
Marcy say
pleasing, and I'm
no.
like,
Miss Marcy say no.
not anymore. And again, it's a learned behavior when you're able to say no, when you're able to step back, but then they still expect you to show up. They still expect the old
Mm-hmm.
you. When you change how you behave, other people have to adjust. They honestly do, and it's hard. Sometimes we would. And again, I love the topic when we had our Before we rebrand, we talk about who's riding with us, because you realize who start with you is not always who's going to end with you, because as you
Absolutely.
change, as you evolve, as you elevate, people have to adjust. And if they don't want to adjust, they got to hop off. They got to hop off the ride.
Right.
That does not always mean they are trying to control you. Sometimes they are responding to what they have known for years. Again, if I always say yes, 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 that's what they're going to expect 10, 20 years from now, even when you're 60, even when
Mm-hmm.
you're doing these things at a certain age. And it's like, no, I'm not that person anymore. Right? I
Mm-hmm.
am doing things different. Now I'm traveling the world. So I don't have time to babysit Jerry and Sarah or whoever, right? Whatever it is. So it's like, yeah, we have to know how to adjust. And they have to adjust, but we also have to adjust to
Right.
this newness. Your responsibility is not to decide that everyone is against you. Your responsibility is to stay clear about what needs
Yeah.
to change. And again, our needs do change. And I remember even when I was separate, before I got separated, my ex-husband would always say, "Oh, I want the woman that I married. I'm not her anymore. You cannot get that 25-year-old
Mm-hmm.
Clavia back. She is way gone." And he never adjusted to that. And here we are living my best life. The goal is to stop returning to an old role simply because change makes someone uncomfortable, right? And we know
Mm-hmm.
that change can be uncomfortable, but we also know that change is inevitable. If we don't change, if we don't grow, if we
Right.
don't elevate, we're just stuck in that cage that we talked about a few weeks ago. If a relationship, call a thing, if a relationship only works when you keep carrying the same load, the relationship may need a new agreement. I'm going to read that again. If
Mm.
a relationship only works when you keep carrying the same load, the relationship may need a new agreement. And I
Mm-hmm.
totally 1000% agree with that. There was this guy I was introduced to. We were talking for some time, and every day was the same thing, same complaint, same TV show. There was nothing different about the conversation. I'm like, what is this?
Why is this?
Why is this? What is this? All the how is this? And there had to be some rearrangement. And I'm like, this can't
Mm-hmm.
work. And I wasn't even, and Kāron, you actually, God is so good. It was so timely. You posted something on your Substack about clarity. And when you know the answer to that change that needs to be had, but sometimes again, the fear of the change, the fear of the readjustment. Okay, I'm going to be single again. Okay, I tried this, it didn't work. Would I ever love again? You posted about clarity, and that was the same week. I'm like, yeah, this, the how, the why, the what. I had to really like identify what that was, and it was just nothing. It was, I'm like a dead flower. Nothing was happening. And I was able to release him, and I was okay with that. And
Mm-hmm.
what helped was reading what you wrote, and you guys can visit Kāron Fairweather on Substack to
Yes.
read about what she posts. But it was so timely because again, sometimes we just need that push. We need that load to be lifted. And even if you doubt what the next step is, trust the process. Trust what we're
Mm-hmm.
saying. So,
That's
reflection question. What relationship, I think I read that. Oh no, what relationship may need new expectations because your role is changing? So, again, we talk about parenthood.
mm-hmm.
What relationship may need new expectations because your role is changing? So, I may not have to pay your bus fare anymore because now you're an adult, right? I may not have to buy you groceries because now you live on your own. There's responsibilities when you become an adult. You talk about actual relationship, partnership. If we are now broken up, but now we have children, now we have to co parent, now we have to be cordial, now we have to be mature. So, what relationship changes are you experiencing or may experience? How are you going to handle that? So, that's just to ponder on. Now, Marcy, how can a woman begin changing? Sorry, how can a woman begin changing one old role without feeling that she has to change her entire life at once. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
going to happen overnight. We already know it, right? And
Yeah.
again, that comes with healing because we know sometimes these things break us, but we have to be made whole again. So, what does that look like for us as women?
You know what? I want to go back, Clavia. You said these things break us. I was talking to God, and he told me, he said, don't say you were broken.
Mm.
Don't say you were extremely shattered.
Mm.
Because when you put down, when you say broken, that gives the connotation that you can't be fixed again.
Okay.
When you shattered,
Pick up the pieces.
you can pick up the pieces. Maybe you
Okay.
could glue it back, even though it's going to be some stuff that's going to leak out a little bit, but you could pick up the pieces. But
Mm.
brokenness sends that vibration of never to be healed again. And
Mm.
I just got that
Mm.
revelation this week.
Amen.
But going back to your question, how can women begin changing the one old road without feeling that she's changed her entire life all at once? One different decision at a time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You don't need to change everything at once.
Right.
Choose one area, one decision, one behavior, one place where
Mm-hmm.
the old role is still active. If you're usually answering immediately, pause before you say yes or
Mm-hmm.
no. If you're usually handling the task as everyone else is has taken responsibility, stop doing it. Are you usually staying quiet? Speak once in the room. If you usually accept whatever is offered, ask one direct question. If you're usually avoiding asking for help, make one clear request. If you're usually putting your needs last, make one decision that includes you. This is a self-love decision. This is not about becoming a different person overnight, because it
Mm-hmm.
takes time. Because and a lot of us are coming from a shattered place. Now, mind you, that glue, it takes time to that glue takes time to dry
Mm-hmm.
from this shattered place. Just note that it's about making choices that better fit the woman that you are now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The decision may seem small, and with that, I remember when I started waking up, and I've been doing this for years now. But I would pray, thank you, God. But now when I get up and I pray, I was like, oh God, I want to thank you for making me more amazing than I was yesterday, even though I didn't think it was possible,
Mm-hmm.
but you've done it. And that was one thing that I started doing. And I literally, that's when, what, 3, 4 years ago, how long we been this affirmation? That's when I started seeing with that one act, that's when I started seeing my affirmations become manifestations.
Mm-hmm.
And like it's what is that one thing that you choose to do and you do it well,
Mm-hmm.
that makes you that helps you grow and heal. Um, so say call a thing a thing. Do you need to change your entire life today? Do you need one decision that supports the life you say you want? Like, I want to be honest with you. If I can win that billion, it's 700 or something $1 billion, we could change my whole life today. But if I don't win that 700 and billion stuff, still every day, what like I was in the pool earlier, and I said, Lord, please help me with my procrastination. Now I have to work on stop being a procrastinator. That's my job that I have to do. So I need you to choose one old road that makes one different decision this week. So what did I say? I need to stop procrastinating. Okay. And I know our producers in the background talk about, yep, that's what she needs to stop doing. And you know what? And I'm okay with it. And I understand. Love you, Shar. Uh, so, Kron,
Yes.
bring us home with this practical exercise.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I mentioned earlier about the role framework. ROLE, right? The role,
Mm-hmm.
what is that can change, what's limiting me, and then taking action on it, right? So complete these statements. So when it comes down to go from role to decision. So I did the role framework to identify what it is, and now I'm going to make a decision to do something like Miss Marcy said. You don't have to do everything at one point. That's too much. It's overwhelming. You'll give up. Pick one thing that you want to make a change in your life. The role I have been playing is, and I'll use my example, family president. I began playing this role because
Mm-hmm.
it made me feel important. Now, let me tell y'all something what this exercise called for above all things. There's one thing this exercise called for: honesty. I can
Mm.
honestly say to
Yeah.
myself that I self appointed myself as the family president because it made me feel important. So that was um low confidence thing in me that I needed to deal with. And once I dealt with it, I could say, like, well, why am I doing this? Well, I know why I was
Mm-hmm.
doing it. Why am I still doing it? So the role I began doing it because it made me feel important. This role helped me feel like I was doing something to make a difference. The number four, the role now limits me. It limits me because it's overwhelming trying to answer everybody's questions and do everything for everybody. And one different
Mm-hmm.
decision I will make and have already made is choosing me first. Do I really have to be there for everybody? No. They've gotten used to it. And as
Mm-hmm.
Clivia mentioned before, that people get used to you doing a thing that you choose to do. And when you decide to do it differently, it makes them uncomfortable because they're so accustomed to you being so available. So my one decision was to not be
Mm-hmm.
so available. Then I expect the decision to feel like what? So me choosing to not be available for everybody is gonna feel a little lonely for just a short little while. Why? Because my phone not ringing off the hook. My texts are not blowing up like it had been.
Mm-hmm.
People say to me all the time, girl, your
Yeah.
phone's forever ringing or buzzing. Well, now that I've made this decision, it's not going to be ringing and buzzing all the time because people going to get tired of you not answering them, right? They're going to find somebody else. That
Mm-hmm.
feeling will not automatically mean, though, that I've been abandoned. Nobody has abandoned me. They're just adjusting to the new rules that I'm now functioning by. So
Mm-hmm.
when we do these steps, it's just six steps. Yeah, it's just six steps, little steps about one decision, not a whole bunch of decisions. Start with one and stick with that for about 30 days. About 30 days just to kind of get it, because I think they said 7 to 21 days to get something down in your system, right? So one
Mm-hmm. Habit.
decision,
Yeah.
like Miss Marcy said, pause. If your thing is you're the yes girl, or like Miss Clivia said, you the people pleaser. Get that in. Give yourself a sticky note. If you work at home, don't be a people pleaser. Learn to say no. Put that in front of you so that you're reminded about that one thing
Yes.
that you want to change, because it takes practice because you've
Mm-hmm.
been doing it for so long. Now, I'm going to call a
Mm-hmm.
thing here. Call a thing a thing. You have not changed simply because you describe yourself differently. The change becomes visible in your choices. Because you can talk all day and night long. But if you start making some physical changes in what you do or don't do, then you're going to start seeing the change come about. This week, identify
Mm-hmm.
one role, just one. Make one decision that reflects what you need and value now. What you need and value now, because you may have done it at one time, but no, you don't want to do that no more, because it's deflating you. It's just depleting you of everything. It's like, oh my God, they are not calling me again about the same thing that I said 10,000 times. Well, you used to listen to it for the first 5,000 times without problems. Now all of a sudden now it's a problem, and you know what? That's okay. You can change your mind about what it is that you're doing, but you got to stick with it. You can't be flipping and flopping. Oh, well, she ain't taking no calls this week, y'all, and then you get lonely. because those calls aren't coming in. Then you start taking the calls again. Oh, she taking calls again, y'all. Y'all can start calling her again. You got to you got to stick to it. You can't give up on it because it will be
Yeah.
uncomfortable. It will be uncomfortable. You've been doing it for
Mm-hmm.
so long. It will be uncomfortable, but I promise you, just give it 30 days. You'll be less
Yeah.
uncomfortable with it. It's still going to take a little bit longer, but at least 30 days, you will be less uncomfortable with it. Now, y'all, let's get to this closing. When we want things, we have to make a first. And I can't say this enough about anything we're doing, particularly about this identity. Really identifying who we are. You got to be honest with yourself and find out who you are, because you won't be able to effectively make these changes if you haven't identified what it is that's about you that you want to make different. You gotta be honest with
Mm-hmm.
yourself. Listen, take that time, go sit in somebody's corner with a pen and some paper or a typewriter, a computer, and start typing it out. Just let it flow. Just let it flow. Like you're just going on. Don't worry about your punctuation. Just get your little voice note and just talk to it. And start talking about yourself to yourself, and listen to it and
Mm-hmm.
decide what is it that you want to change. Once you start being honest with yourself, then you can start shaping out what it is that you want to change. Well, I want to change this, and this. All right, that's fine. You got your list now. But let's just start with one at a time. One at a time. Give it 30 days to get sunk in, and then 30 more days to get good at it. So 60 days. So it's going to take you a little while to get through that list. Don't be in a rush. You didn't get to where you are
Mm-hmm.
overnight. Take your time, because learning you, authentically learning who you are, is so worth it. So when you make the decisions going
Yes.
forward, you're making decisions to support what you truly want. But you can't say what you truly want if you don't know who you truly are. Your past helps shape
Yes.
you. It does not have to control your every decision. One more time. Your past
Mm-hmm.
helped to shape you. It does not have to control your every decision. It really does not, y'all. It doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
And think Miss Cliffy, I think, said how when she was younger, of 25, not too long ago, she was 25. Okay, so not too long ago, she was
Thank
25.
you. Thank you. Thank you very
and
much.
and her former husband wanted that 25-year-old that he met back then, which I can imagine. Maybe she was a little more naive. Maybe she swallowed everything he had to say. Maybe she was just like so
Mm-hmm.
accommodating to everything, even when he was being not so nice, she was still accommodated. Well,
Yes, ma'am.
she doesn't exist anymore because she grew up. So when you have people
Mm-hmm.
in your life who don't want that, they want that old version of you that put down everything, Miss Marcy, and went and ran errands for them. They want that Marcy back. Well, that Marcy don't exist no more, cause that Marcy going home and taking a
Because gas
nap.
is too high. I ain't got time to put
Marcy go that too. She gas is too high. She's going home and taking a nap. She's not staying at church because she's been in church 3 nights a week already. She going home and may not be back on Sunday, and that's okay.
Right.
That is okay because she's choosing her. She is choosing her. And you guys, I'm in this process with that I'm working on a project that requires a little self evaluation, and this it helped me to see some things. And this is what I mean by you're always evolving, elevating to the next level, because you're learning more about yourself, you're asking more questions, you're taking time to be honest with yourself. And I identify something like, hold on, wait, am I really doing that? But that's what happens when you're always seeking to know yourself more. I'm always asking God, show me me. Show me me. Because how can I live an authentic life if I don't see me for who I really, really am? And I'm not saying we have a facade up or anything, but we get in the mode of behaving a certain way and doing things in a certain way. But when it comes down to our true identity, we want to be authentic in what we say and what we do, especially for ourselves. That's enough of that, y'all. Let's get to these affirmations so we can wrap this thing up. My old self helped me endure, but my new life requires a renewed mind, a surrendered heart, and a deeper agreement with who God is calling me to become.
Mm.
I embrace courageous conversations to help me heal, grow, and become my greatest self. I am safe. I am strong. I am evolving.
Mm.
Yes.
As I mature, I ask better questions, align my habits with my prayers, and embrace the conversations, opportunities, and assignments that match the season God has called me to walk in. And I'm going to add, I will no longer people please.
Ah,
That was just a little extension. Amen. And our
that
scripture,
part.
Ephesians 5, verse 15 to 17. Be very careful then how you live, not as unwise, but as wise, making the most of every opportunity, because the days
Mm-hmm.
are evil. Therefore, do not be foolish, but understand what the Lord's will is. And if it's out of his will, don't do it. Wait for his guidance. He will never leave you astray.
Mm-hmm.
Amen.
Mm-hmm. Your identity, your identity, knowing who you are without question takes work. It takes effort, and most of all, it takes honesty. When you start doing the work and peeling back those layers that don't belong to you in the first place, you'll be surprised that woman who's always been there and just waiting to become, for you to get rid of all the stuff so she can become who she's always been, but you weren't allowing her to be.
Mhm.
So, with that, remember what we said this week. Take one thing, just one thing, and start working on that and unveiling who you really are. So as the children go off their way and with or without a man and without the responsibilities, without the role, you are still who you are and you're living your best life, just like Miss Cliffy said, as best as possible. So with that, everybody, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We are so excited to have new followers with us. Don't forget our episodes drop every Saturday morning at 9 a.m. Eastern. So subscribe, turn the bell on so you'll know when those episodes drop so that you too can get in on this conversation. And feel free to leave a comment. We love reading the comments of our viewers
Yes,
so that
please.
yeah, comments. We need comments, y'all. Come on now. We know you're watching. We know you're watching, but leave us a comment. Get the
Minimum
word
of
out there.
7 words. All we need is a minimum of 7 words. Just
That's it.
something in there. That's all we need.
Well,
7 words.
somebody might say, "Why seven?" Because that's the number of completeness. We need a complete statement from you.
There you go.
That's why. All right, y'all. Until the next time, peace
I
and
love
blessings
that.
to y'all. Right, Marcy? Bye, y'all.
For the woman becoming Elevate H.E.R. Elevate H.E.R.